This is J-Ram.
And this is Billy.
And welcome to another edition of Retro Review,
where this time we will be reviewing Friday the 13th, Part 8.
Jason Takes Manhattan.
And wow, was it a trip. I'm just saying, like, James was having trouble staying awake for most of the film.
That is true.
We're recording this at 5 a.m., so we've been up all night. We played a little bit of Mario Party. We actually
recorded some other episodes and then decided that this was a way to end the night.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do this review of Friday the 13th, Part 8. So, James, tell me a little bit about the production of this film. And
first off, let's begin with, it's called Jason Takes Manhattan. Spoiler alert, he spends like 10 minutes in New York.
That's a little bit of an exaggeration.
Dude, it's only an hour and 40-minute movie, and he spends over 40 minutes on a boat.
Yeah, Jason's on a boat.
Yeah, on a boat. On a boat, stab. On a boat, slice. Jason's on a boat. Yeah, but he does. He spends way too much time on that boat.
Yeah.
But you're right. Let's talk about the production.
Yeah.
So it's a 1989 American slasher film written and directed by Rob Hedden and starring Jensen Daggett, Scott Reeves, Peter Mark Richmond, and Kane Hodder. As we talked about last time, Kane Hodder is the repeat Jason of 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah. He's the fan favorite of the of the Jasons because he was the only one that was consecutive. All the other ones,
people like CJ, who played him in the 6th movie.
Yeah.
People tend to be most fond of the zombie Jasons.
Yeah, but I really still up to this point, number 4 is my favorite film.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. This is the 8th installment in Friday the 13th. And it's interesting you brought that up because this movie was also, just like Part 4, intended to be the last Friday movie.
Yes.
And that's because it was the last film in the series to be distributed by Paramount Pictures in the United States until 2009 with the reboot.
Yes. Because
the subsequent installments, like 9, 10, Freddy vs. Jason, all were done by New Line Cinema,
which owned the rights to Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's how we got that Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah, because they wanted that before. They wanted to have that earlier on, but
they wanted that instead of what we had for Part 7. Which Part 7 was supposed to be Freddy and Jason.
Yeah, okay.
Which makes more sense because it was their heyday.
Yeah, and it ended up being Carrie versus Jason.
Yeah,
as we all found out. And if you haven't already, go check out our previous installments of this series. It's a wild ride, if I must say.
Yeah, it is.
I went back.
Some high highs, some low lows.
Yeah, I actually went back a couple weeks ago and listened to all of those. It was pretty funny, like rehashing some of it. I was like, oh yeah, that happened in that film. Like it's hard to differentiate sometimes.
Because they all mesh together in the end.
Well, I don't know. This one definitely stands out.
So, as we kind of talked about, this movie's about a group of high school graduates on a ship en route to, and later in, New York City. They are in New York City for like 2 scenes. The rest of the time, they're in Vancouver.
Yeah, they filmed in Vancouver. Yeah, they filmed in Vancouver.
They are not in New York very much, which is sad because, as I brought up, originally the whole point was to show Jason taking Manhattan. They were going to have him like crash a Broadway show and kill people on Broadway. He was going to go into a movie theater and kill people. There was something to do with the Statue of Liberty that was supposed to happen.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
Yeah,
actually.
But that's not what we got.
No.
In fact, at the time of its production, Jason Takes Manhattan was the most expensive film of the series.
And how much?
With a budget of around $5.5 million.
And how much they rake in?
$14.3 million. The lowest.
That's $5 million less than the last one.
The lowest gross of the series to date. Today.
That's terrible.
Today, son.
That's crazy considering Jason X exists.
Yeah. Well, that one's just awesome. That's a fucking awesome movie.
No.
We're through with the bad, and we're going to get to the good bad from now on.
Chaotic evil to lawful evil.
Listen to this. It even had like a cool marketing campaign featuring Jason slashing through the I Love New York logo with a knife.
Yeah.
Which was later retracted after the New York City Tourism Committee filed a complaint against Paramount Pictures. But yeah, it was released on July 28th, 1989. It grossed $14.3 million, the lowest gross of the series to date. Some people like it for its humor, and other people, like myself, think it's the worst film of this entire franchise.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say big merits of this film. I want to say that up front because I'm going to dog it later. Definitely.
Okay.
But right now, I would say like the best elements of this film is character development. I think they have that pretty much nailed on this one. You know, whereas in the last few films that we've had, we've only had really like a
people
few.
to die.
Well, we've only had like a few characters that had any sort of story behind them. But in this one, you kind of have all of them. You got like the girl who's into music and she's, you know,
wanted to film a music video on the boat.
and then you've got the filmographer kid who's, you know, really
obsessed with Rich Bitch 2.
Yeah, which
It's weird that they continued that trend.
yeah,
Why bring another rich bitch into the series?
yeah. I mean, and it,
Who's also hooked on cocaine.
yeah, well, yeah, and I mean, all the characters had pretty good development. Also, the beginning credits scene, like, does a very good job.
You really liked the opening
I
credits.
really
of the
did.
movie.
I appreciated the level of thought that they put into those perspective
Think about-
shots and stuff.
Let's take a moment.
Yeah.
What has this series done to you where you're grasping at opening credit sequences?
And not just the opening credit sequences, like it had some good like angle shots of like action and stuff.
Maybe, but this movie was trash.
Oh,
man.
and yeah, I mean it was terrible, but I'm just saying the
Jason takes Manhattan. No, Jason takes
Okay.
a boat ride.
James, what good thing can you say about this film? Can you say anything good about this film? Come on, you got to think of something.
There's one good kill.
What?
We'll get there. There's one really awesome kill. and
Okay,
that's
well, you're
it.
going to have to bring it up when we get there so we know which one you're talking about.
That's what I got for you.
All right. So, what? Any other facts that you can throw out about this film?
Like I said, they had big ideas for this movie. It just didn't go that way. It would be like 3 years, I think we said, right? Because 1993 is when Part 9 comes out. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this was supposed to be the end. Thank God it wasn't. What a horrible way to end this franchise.
Oh yeah!
Imagine if that was
especially
it.
the very ending of this film has a twist in it. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw that out there.
Why? That twist makes no fucking sense. What kind of a hellscape are they trying to paint New York City as in this movie?
Yeah, well, not only that, but just like what sort of supernatural? I mean, like okay, I can accept that Jason is a zombie.
You know what? You're right. I didn't even think about it until just now.
Yeah,
That twist is even worse, considering that they were going to have it be the last movie and never explain it.
That's
they were
true.
going to have that twist and then be like, and that's the series. oh, I am enraged. Oh, thank God it's not the end.
All right, James. Let's jump into our plot full of plucky seniors on their
Senior cruise to New York.
senior cruise to New York.
All right, so Jason takes a boat ride, happens 1 year after the previous movie.
Yeah. So remember the non-decomposing water zombie dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, forget about him. He's not in this film.
What do you mean? Because clearly they make a reference to it by Jason still being buried under the pier.
Yeah, but he's not.
Where's
there.
non-decomposed water zombie dad?
He went and lived a happy life with his family, and his daughter was cured of her mental illness, and
Yeah, well, I mean, we're used to not...
now she uses her powers for cancer research.
Maybe. You know what? That's actually a really nice little future you've built for them.
Yeah, they're on a farm.
So 1 year after... Oh, don't set it up as mice and men. George, what am I going to do?
All right.
Lenny, just look off. Anyway, so it's 1 year after the events of Part 7.
Yeah,
2 graduating high school students, Jim and Susie, are on this houseboat at Crystal Lake. They drop an anchor, which ends up damaging some underwater cables, but we'll get there. So Jim is telling his girlfriend Susie about the legend of Jason Voorhees. This is the callback and the tale of all the previous movies in case you hadn't seen it.
yeah,
But like I said, they drop the anchor and it damages some underwater cables. While that's happening, Jim plays a prank on Susie with a knife and a hockey mask. And you brought up a great point.
yeah. About the hockey mask.
The hockey mask he wears is an exact replica of the one Jason's had in every movie up till now.
It even has.
It has the gash in the top. It's
Yeah.
got the red thing on it in the middle of the top.
So
which
that means
means-
that in that universe, there is someone who is profiting by making Jason merchandise off of the deaths of countless teenagers at Camp Crystal Lake.
The only thing I can say is maybe it's because they think he's a legend. a lot of people probably don't believe he's real.
Maybe
They just contribute the
how
murders.
could they take that and turn it
'cause it's
into a tourist trap sort of weird?
Oh, it's the legend of
fucked up-
Jason Voorhees. Dude, think about the Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Think about, like, people still go to Salem, Massachusetts because of the witch trials.
Yeah.
So, like, it's very easy to turn something dark and like mysterious and spooky into a tourist trap.
I guess so.
But like you said, like,
How do they explain away the deaths though? They
I don't
just say
know.
like it's
Somebody made
random
a-
serial killers.
Somebody made a replica mask and is selling it like it is morally wrong.
You just cracked my knuckles in the mic. Hold on. There we go. All right, let's keep going.
So he wears that authentic mask.
Yeah.
The underwater cables, oh god, again with the electricity, shock Jason back to life.
Yeah.
He rises from the water, sneaks on board, takes the mask and a harpoon gun.
Mm-hmm. And
Shoots
then murders
it and
Susie
misses.
and Jim.
He's losing a step because he shoots it and he misses and it
Yeah.
goes into the wall right by her head.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't matter because then he takes the spear gun and literally jams it through Jim's body and then rips it out. Susie runs away and he grabs the spear and he finds her hiding and kills her.
Yeah.
The next morning, the cruise ship that'll hold the seniors called the SS Lazarus,
Yeah, Lazarus.
as if that's not a foreboding sign. Would you get on a boat called the Lazarus?
Well, yeah. I mean,
I wouldn't get on a boat called the Lazarus. Or Titanic. They're making it Titanic. I know it's off topic, but
Yeah.
somebody is making an exact replica, calling it the Titanic 2, and it will set sail on the exact same journey as the first boat took.
let's do it. Let's get a
You're
ticket.
fucking insane! How much do you want to tempt the fates?
Oh my god.
The only thing is they'll probably have enough lifeboats on this one.
Well, yeah.
That will be a big plus.
And I'm sure the engineering won't be.
Here's the thing.
you know,
if I was the guy building it,
Yeah.
I'd have to be tempted to make it purposefully sink. To really recreate it and go, now you know what they went through.
What kind of psycho are you? All right, just move on.
Anyway,
with the plot. Let's do this.
The SS Lazarus, it's ready to set sail for New York City, aka Vancouver, Canada,
Yeah.
with a graduating senior class from Lakeview High School. Evidently, they've changed the name again of Crystal Lake to Lakeview. Or maybe that's just what they call the high school.
Yeah, that's probably just what they named.
We're from a small town, so they call it our town's name, high school.
Yeah.
But anyway, you have the biology teacher, Dr. Charles McCulloch, the English teacher, Colleen Van Dusen, and some students. Mm-hmm. Well, Van Dusen brings along McCulloch's niece, Rennie, despite her aquaphobia.
Yeah.
She is deathly afraid of the water, and we'll find
Yeah.
out why later.
But she chooses to come because
she wants to face her fear.
Yeah.
Get over it. Mature. Grow.
yeah,
Be an adult.
admiral qualities.
Yes. So obviously she is our heroine. She is our heroine. We'll get there again.
Oh God, good one. Good.
I didn't even mean to. She is the hero of this movie.
All right.
Jason sneaks on board the ship and kills the rock star wannabe JJ with her own guitar. JJ wants to make a music video, and she's following around with this camera kid who's in film class.
Is that Miles?
I think so.
Yeah.
So she's doing that, and she's doing her thing, and she's all happy about it. And then
Or Wayne? I think it's Wayne.
it might be Wayne. I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyway, she decides to make her own music video. She's down there in the boiler room, and she's like, wow, air guitaring it up.
Yeah, and Jason's coming down the stairs right behind
And
her.
she doesn't hear him. He gets her guitar, and he slams it like he slashes her across the head with it.
No,
like
he
it's-
just beats her in the face with it.
blood splatters the camera.
Yeah.
So he kills her. Well, that night, while Jason's hiding, a young boxer fights another one, Julius.
Yes.
Julius beats the crap out of him.
Yeah.
So he goes to a sauna to relax and recover from the fight. You liked this kill. Why don't you tell him what happens?
So the guy's in the sauna, and if you've ever been in a sauna, you know that they have those hot rocks that are in the, it heats the rocks up, and that's what causes the heat in there. Mm-hmm. And so he pours some oil over it, and then he just puts a towel over his face and lays down. And he hears somebody come in, and he thinks it's Julius, and he's like, pretty good fight, or, good fight, man, and, like, I need to work on my 1-2, whatever.
Yeah.
And and Jason just grabs this hot rock and it's just steaming in his hands, and he just takes it and just jams it in the dude's stomach.
Which immediately catches on fire.
Yeah, his stomach catches on fire from it, which is a little unrealistic, but whatever. We're having fun with this film. That's the point of the film.
While that's going on, Rennie's searching for her pet border collie, Toby. And while she's looking for Toby, she discovers the prom queen, Tamara, and the Tamara, and the Asian girl, Eve. I don't know what her class was. I think she said science scholarship, didn't she?
Yeah.
Well, Eva the scientist doing drugs.
Yeah.
But this time, because it's the 80s, it's not weed.
Yeah, it's cocaine this time.
Yeah. Powdered stuff.
Yeah. We get to some more drugs later on.
We do.
If you didn't catch that.
That heroin reference. Yeah, there's heroin in this movie. McCulloch nearly catches them moments later, and Tamara pushes Rennie overboard because she knows that
she's afraid of
water, and she's a rich bitch.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the parallel to the putting on the jacket backwards in the last film.
Look, does this remind you of your mental institute?
Yeah.
This is like, she's deathly afraid of water. Voink.
Yeah, just throws her off, and then she almost drowns because she sees the child version of Jason pulling.
Oh yeah, that's
her
right. Because
under.
she's having visions of like Jason, just like. Maybe she has psychic powers too.
No, it's because she has past trauma from. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get. Yeah. You think that's all that is?
I think that's all.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah. Just the legend.
I'm just saying, this movie wouldn't surprise me if it was supernatural reasons. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either.
But anyway, Tamara uses Wayne. You were right, it is Wayne, to record McCulloch in a compromising situation, which is basically she just dry humps him, like forces herself on McCulloch.
Yeah.
And like makes out with him.
He was into it for a minute.
For a second, and then he
came to his senses.
Yeah, and pushed her away. He's like, what's wrong with you? But she's like, now I got a fucking tape, asshole.
Yeah.
You're gonna pass me or I'm gonna release it and ruin your life.
Yeah.
But Jason overhears this evidently, and he doesn't like blackmail.
Yeah.
So he comes in and he kills Tamara with a shard of broken mirror.
Yeah. Which we're gonna tell you a little bit. Jason apparently has morals.
Yes.
If he sees somebody doing something wrong, well, they're gonna die first. I mean, he's not. Yeah. They still probably die, but the other people,
he puts them on a priority.
Will die first. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we choked. She does do a snort of cocaine off a little mirror, and that mirror breaks.
Yeah.
And then later on, when Jason's in her room and attacking her, the mirror breaks, and that's what he kills her with.
Yeah.
So I looked at Billy and I said, "You live by the blow, you die by the blow." Jason has a code.
He doesn't like drugs.
Or sex.
No. All right.
So while that's going on, like you said, Rennie is seeing visions of a young Jason throughout the ship, but the others ignored the deckhand's warning. That's right, we have a deckhand in the ship, doesn't get named, but he is the crazy Ralph.
There's actually,
to the point where he's like, the ship is doomed.
Oh, yeah.
The voyage is doomed.
And you realize that we've already gotten quite a ways into this film, and we're not in Manhattan.
No, again, of an hour and 40 minutes, over 40 of it's spent on the boat.
Yeah.
That's why I refuse to call it Takes Manhattan. It's Jason Takes a Boat Ride.
Jason goes on a journey.
Jason takes a vacation. Jason takes a vacation. He's got to get away from the lake every now and again.
He goes to Miami.
Why not? Jason versus Scarface. That would be the next movie. Say hello to my little friend. Jason just stands there, takes all the bullets. He's a zombie. It's not going to hurt him.
No.
Anyway. So while that's going on, they ignore that deckhand. Jason kills the captain of the boat, whose son is on the boat as well. The captain's son is a member of the senior class,
and he doesn't know shit about maritime law.
Okay, you say that because he forgets two things.
Yeah,
there's no proof that those aren't the only two things he forgets.
It was just something I was riffing on because it was like, you should know this, and I was just like, yeah, didn't you learn it in first grade?
Doesn't everyone learn maritime law by the time they're in pre-K? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, he is the son of a captain. He probably should have learned that shit.
Yeah, Sean discovers the body of the captain and the first mate.
Yeah.
And that's when he calls the others to the
bridge.
To the bridge and says, we have to make an emergency stop. Eva finds Tamara's body and flees, and in that moment she meets Jason, who chases her. She enters this was another cool scene that you liked.
Yeah.
Eva, she enters that disco room that was playing music even though there was nobody in the room and the lights were going on.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a weird, like, carousel motion with the camera just spinning around the room. And sometimes it'd be Eva, and then it would be Jason, and then it would be Eva. And she couldn't tell where he was. Mm-hmm. And finally, he just disappeared completely until, boom, he was right there next to her.
You fell for my shadow clone jutsu.
Just see zombies.
He's doing the Naruto hand motions. I mean, you can't see it, but whatever. All right, so
he kills her.
Yes, by strangling her, like holding her up against the ceiling.
Yeah, just actually, and it was the most tame kill. Like, he doesn't use a weapon. He doesn't like crush her skull. He just literally chokes her to death.
She was too pretty to go like that.
Maybe.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go with the next one.
So the
next
students
kill.
agree to...
Go, Jason, go.
Go, Jason, go. So the students agree to search for Jason while McCulloch denies that Jason exists and thinks it's the deckhand. The deckhand's then found immediately with an axe in his back.
Yeah. And he's got the knife, and he looks like he's a maniac, you know, with a knife and everything. And then he just kind of looks pained, and he falls over, and then you see the fire axe in his back.
Yeah.
So...
Jason then kills Miles by just throwing him overboard to his death.
Yeah.
Wayne comes across JJ's body and is thrown into an electrical box by Jason. Mm-hmm. Julius is knocked overboard.
And presumably he drowns. That's what
Wayne's
it looks
body
like.
catches on fire and causes the ship to sink.
Yes.
So all the other students are dead.
All of this stuff is happening very quickly.
Yes.
All to cause the ship to eventually sink.
Because if we don't get to fucking Manhattan by the end of this movie, I want my money back. I still want my money back. We got to Vancouver. We didn't even get to New York.
Oh, God.
So we have McCulloch, Van Dusen, the teachers, Rennie, and Sean. Well, they find a life raft and discover that Toby and Julius are alive. So you have Toby, the dog, Julius, the other student, Sean, the student, and Rennie, the student. So 3 students out of that whole group are left. They finally get to New York, where Jason, I guess, like, tags along on their boat anchor. I don't know. But he's there.
He ends up just popping up out of the water and pulling himself up.
And there's 2 good things about this movie. There's a really cool shot of Jason in Times Square, just like kind of panning around with his view of looking at all the neon lights and stuff.
Did you mention that Julius is on the lifeboat?
Yeah, Julius is on the lifeboat.
Yeah, because he did not drown when he was thrown overboard.
No.
You know, he just kind of popped up out of the water and was like, hey, I'm here. Yeah. Well,
so the minute they get to New York, what happens? Renee gets kidnapped by a pair of junkies.
Yeah, they immediately get mugged.
Yeah.
The way they're painting the city, like, whenever
it's
they first...
a nightmare escape.
The first shot of the city is a barrel of toxic sludge with a rat sticking out.
Covered in it, like, ah.
Yeah, just kind of sniffing around. It was gross. I'm just saying, like, the way they portray New York City was just bad.
Well, don't worry, it's not New York City, it's Vancouver.
Well, yeah.
Who knew Canada was that bad? Anyway, she gets kidnapped by the junkies, and that's when she gets shot up with heroin.
Yeah.
And she's fixing to get raped, but that is when Jason shows up
and saves
her. Like, he's a hero.
He has morals, okay? He goes for the bad guys first. He still wants to kill her.
Oh, yeah. But no. You're not fixing to rape. And kills him by stabbing a needle through his back, through the front of his chest.
Yeah, which that syringe was not long enough to do that, but whatever.
How did he kill did he kill the other one, or did the other one just run away?
I can't remember.
Because I know how he kills McCulloch, but we'll get there.
Yeah. No, the dude takes the gun and empties it on him, remember?
Oh, yeah, and then he just...
Yeah.
Hits him. But Rennie escapes from Jason while he's killing those punks. Mm-hmm. After that, Jason goes and he gets to Julius.
And this is after she gets shot up with heroin.
Yeah, so she's on drugs.
She is like tripping out this whole time. So,
but while that's going on, Jason finds Julian on this rooftop. Mm-hmm. And they get into a boxing match.
Yeah.
Julius is just going to town. Give him a left. And
you know what?
This is the kill I was talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
He's doing damage. Like, Jason's staggering back a little bit with every punch.
He took the hits.
He took the hits. He didn't hit back.
I think it was a mutual respect sort of thing, almost. Maybe. Is what you felt like. And it was weird
that Jason just stood there and let him punch himself out
until he was just completely give out.
His hands are broken, bloodied.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, take your best shot, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Jason does one uppercut.
And decapitates him.
With an uppercut punch.
And his head just goes flying off the building.
And you see the perspective of the head as it goes down, because they literally yeeted a camera into the air and watched it like spin so they could get that footage.
Yeah.
And not only that, but he knocks his head off, it spins, and then it makes a perfect 3-point basket into the dumpster.
Yeah.
That's right on beside the building.
But that's not where the head ends up.
No, it's not.
No, because we all know that Jason loves to hide bodies for people to find.
For some reason, it is a weird OCD thing with him. Well, after he kills Julius, Rennie runs into Sean and the teachers and the police.
Yeah.
Before Jason, kills the officer who's helping him.
Immediately.
Because they get in the students and the teachers get in the back of the cop car. The cop opens up the front door, and there's Julius's head hanging like an air freshener from the rearview mirror.
I thought it was just sitting on the dash.
No, I thought it was hanging like a fucking air freshener, dude.
Maybe. All right.
And they freak out. Jason comes there, and he kills the cop. Renee gets in the front seat and literally crashes the car. Rennie.
Yeah.
She crashes the car because she sees another vision. They get out of the car while it's on fire.
Yeah, she sees Jason's boy, whenever he was 10 years old. She sees him standing right in front of this concrete wall and just plows through him into the wall, which he's just an apparition.
Yeah, it puts the car on fire. They get out, except for, unfortunately, the teacher that liked her, Van Dusen, who is then killed when the car explodes. Rennie technically murdered the teacher. Jason didn't kill her. That car killed her. That's Rennie's fault. That death's on her hands.
I guess so.
So after this, it's revealed that McCulloch is the whole reason why Rennie is deathly afraid of the water.
Yeah, because she's staring at this puddle of oil that's, caught on fire, and she's staring into the fire, and then you see her reminiscing about her
childhood.
And it's got him and her in this boat
on Crystal Lake.
Yeah, on Crystal Lake, and he tells her that she needs to learn how to swim, and that she said she was going to take swimming lessons years and years goes by, and she still doesn't know how to swim. And he's like, well, I think it's time you learn how to swim. And then he proceeds to tell her
the legend of, Jason's down there. You don't want to drown like that Voorhees boy.
He's down there.
He's down there.
If you don't
ready
learn
to
how
drag away anyone who doesn't know how to swim. He just makes it fucking worse.
Yeah, and then he yeets her off of the frickin' canoe
into the lake. And sure enough, she almost dies because she sees boy. She's always had visions of boy. He drags her down. She always has visions of boy Jason.
Yeah. That's because that's the legend that she knows. That's this legend.
So she got scared and she just imagined it?
Yeah,
It's probably seaweed or something?
Maybe.
Anyway, she wakes up and she's fucking pissed at her uncle, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So Sean and Rennie run away and they leave McCulloch behind. Jason catches up to him and drowns McCulloch in a barrel of toxic waste.
Yeah, and there's a dead rat floating in it. It's gross, and he just holds him upside down in
until
this barrel.
Until it melts most of his body away.
You think that's what it does? I think he just drowned in it.
No, because he fit the rest of his body in the barrel.
No, he didn't. He hung it back over the side.
Oh, I thought it was the whole body in there.
No. We haven't gotten to the acidic toxic sludge. We have not gotten there, but we will get there. It's New York City. We know this place is just covered in toxic sludge.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That's why so many people live there, because it's full of toxic waste.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, we're gonna jump ahead for a second.
Yeah.
They fucking go into the sewers at one point.
No, James. I almost called you Jason. James. We don't need to do that yet. Fine. We need to just keep rolling. So
Jason chases Rennie.
We're almost there.
And Sean into the subway. Mm-hmm. And they incapacitate him by knocking him onto the electrical third rail, 6,000 volts.
Yeah.
But of course that doesn't stop him. No. He's a zombie. Created by lightning. Lightning's not going to kill him.
No. He's like, bitch, I was born in this. You think this can hurt me?
So Jason
Even Carrie tried to electrify me in a puddle.
Didn't work, bitch.
Nope.
Still standing. I'm on a boat. Hey, I'm on a boat. Hey.
All right.
But anyway, so Jason, this is when Jason ends up in Times Square, which I will admit is a pretty cool scene.
Yeah.
like a well shot, just like 360 of like him looking at Times Square. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
but it doesn't pay off.
But yeah, he doesn't kill anybody. He just goes
He
directly after
only
the people
wants
on the boat.
Rennie and Sean.
He only wants the people that were on the
I'm
boat.
telling you, I think it's a thing. I think his whole thing is if you come into his campground,
Or get in the way, apparently.
even the people that get in the way, he doesn't really kill. He kills like
He killed the rapist and he killed the other mugger because they were in his way. Just like he
I don't
killed
think
the
he killed
maintenance
the other
guy.
one. I think he just knocked him out.
Yeah.
I think the only people he kills is the rapist
Yeah.
and the maintenance guy, and I think that's it. Everyone else he just kind of knocks away if they die from the injuries. That's not because he doesn't
he killed
like,
that
actively
mugger.
kill him.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to rewatch that part as much as I hate to.
But they they find out he's still alive. They try to escape through a diner where again he just knocks somebody aside. And,
yeah.
oh, but before that, when he's in Times Square, he's walking down the street and he's all Jason-esque and he's
Yeah.
marching. And he comes across a stool with a boombox and he just knocks it over and he keeps walking and the group of thugs go, "Hey man,"
Like
'cause they have the
Switchblade.
knives and they're like,
Yeah.
"You're dead meat, man." And instead of like just fucking taking his self and just murdering like these 6 punks,
Yeah.
he just turns around,
Takes off
stares
his
at
mask.
him for a second,
Yeah.
lifts his mask up, lets them see his face, and they're like, oh, it's cool, man, it's cool. And then he puts his mask back down.
And they're all running away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the humor
Yeah.
of this movie.
So
Yeah.
Jason has a sense of humor. He has morals, apparently, to some degree.
Yeah, some degree.
Yeah.
But they get into this is finally where Rennie and Sean get into the sewers.
Yeah.
And they end up meeting a sewer worker who warns them that they have to get out because at midnight, every night at midnight, every sewer in New York City fills with toxic waste. How does the toxic waste get out and go away? Don't know. How is the water not killing people whenever they drink it? Don't know. Doesn't matter. All we need to know is that every night at midnight, all the sewers of New York City flood with acidic, deadly, toxic waste. Who the fuck lives in this city
Oh my god.
where every night the sewers are flooded with toxic waste? Nobody would live there. No human being would stay there.
Oh my god,
But
James,
New
you're
York
killing
City's
me.
like the highest populated city in America.
Oh my gosh. All right.
So anyway,
Yeah.
oh, they gotta get away from this fucking toxic waste, and it's a coming soon. So Jason ends up there and knocks Sean out. Rennie finds a barrel of this toxic, again, just a barrel of toxic waste sitting in the sewer, and throws it at him, and that melts his mask and his face
Yes.
to reveal the worst makeup job they have ever done in one
Yeah.
of these movies.
Yeah, it was an ugly looking mask that they had him in. And it was like halfway falling apart. It was
It's well because of the toxic waste. It's
Yeah.
melting his face,
Yeah.
and it's also blinded him at this point. So they Sean and Rennie start climbing this ladder to get away from the toxic waste that you can make. That's making all the lamps move that are hanging up on the ceiling. Like you hear this rushing noise of like waste coming your way. So they get on the ladder. They're getting to the top, and then bam, Jason's there with his ugly melting face. And they're trying to get away, and she finally kicks him down enough into the waste that just whoosh, flushes through. There's no way there wouldn't be splashback that would get on them and also kill them.
Yeah.
Or give them cancer.
or just the fumes. You could see the fumes.
Yeah. But anyway, so Jason is like drowning in toxic waste now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And remember when we told you there was a twist? That makes no goddamn sense when you think about how this would be
Look,
the last movie of the series.
James, is this worse than non-decomposing water zombie dad?
This was going to be the end of the series with no explanation as to what just happened ever. This is worse. Because we don't we call him
get an explanation about the
we
other
call
ones
him
either.
non-decomposing water zombie dad.
Yeah.
But it was more likely that it was just like an embodiment of his spirit.
Maybe.
Like she just created like his spirit or something. It's probably not really the water zombie.
Yeah,
dad.
sure. Explain it away.
Well, all right. You try to explain this one away.
All right.
The waste subsides. And at the bottom of the waist isn't Jason or even like bones. It's a normal looking, not mentally handicapped looking, not messed up looking corpse. It is a 10-year-old normal boy who is laying there. It's not a dream sequence. It's not like, oh, well, that's ambiguous. No, they're telling us that 10-year-old boy is somehow Jason. That's what happens when toxic waste is exposed to Jason. It turns him into a normal
A real boy.
Yes.
A real boy.
What the fuck?
It's some sort of weird toxic sludge Pinocchio situation. Like,
They just leave him there. Wouldn't you want to check on this poor 10-year-old boy? Like, see if he's dead? I'm guessing we're supposed to assume he's dead?
I don't know. I mean, he looked like he could have been. I mean, he was in toxic sludge. I mean,
he drowned.
Yeah.
And that turned him back into a boy. Still, you take that body with you and you bury it.
Yeah, I guess
Under
so.
concrete.
I'd let somebody else handle it.
I wouldn't
I
want
ain't
to touch
touching
it. It's covered in toxic waste.
No, he's
You
been
don't-
dragging me under the lake for 15 years. I ain't doing that shit.
He's a little boy. If you can't take a little boy, then there's something wrong with you. But that's where the movie ends. With weird child body Jason. Well, not quite. They get out of the sewer after that.
Yeah.
And they're walking away. And all of a sudden, you hear music and you get a behind shot of something coming up. And you're like, oh my God, if the camera comes around and it's a little boy Jason fixing to fucking kill them, I'm going to scream. But it's not. It's the dog, Toby. Just in case you were worried that the dog died or something.
No.
Nope.
No, he's still
lives.
there. And I will I will say that this movie had 3 different glass shatterings.
Oh yeah,
we didn't really mention the like, I think he himself walked through a glass door, breaking it.
He yeeted himself through a glass door.
Yeah. I want to say that there was someone who was trying to escape.
And he yeeted him through a window. He yeeted 2 people
No, I
through
think
a window.
he yeeted himself out the window. And then Jason went down there and then killed him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
I think that was one of the spots where you fell asleep.
That might have
So
been.
there's like, yeah, lots of window shattering and every single...
Instead of rating these movies, we should have said we should have rated them on a scale of window yeetings.
All right, James.
But that was this movie. That was this piece of trash, god-awful, fucked up movie. Jason Takes Manhattan.
Let me get out my notebook, bro. Actually, I didn't even label this other part. I'm gonna be confused where we're at.
I'm not. I've got us down.
All right. Got my marks down.
Hold on.
James, tell me, what do you rate this film on a scale from 1 to 10?
0.5.
That low?
This piece
That
of
low?
garbage is an affront and an assault and an indignity to what has been an pretty much enjoyable franchise. We had 5 solid entries. We had 2 weird fucking zombie shit. And then we had this thing, this abomination of a movie.
But it was the best cinematography that
Dude,
they've had.
Dude, it made $14 million on a budget of $5.5 million.
Yeah, I'm just playing
It's the
devil's
lowest
advocate.
grossing movie of the franchise for a reason.
Bro, I'm feeling so attacked right now because this is not my lowest rated film.
How? I swear to God, if this is like one of your highest, I might not be able to keep doing this.
I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
No, I refuse to let you do this. You have to give it a lower score.
I've already wrote it. I've already wrote it. I've already written
The
it.
toxic sludge has gotten to you.
I've already wrote it, James. There's nothing you can do.
You have to give it a 4.
You said 0.5 out of 10?
Yeah.
No, my 4 out of 10 was Friday 7. I really hated that. The Carrie versus Jason, I just could not stand that.
I can't believe you gave this movie a 5 out of 10.
Why?
You're telling me that you're okay with a movie that says the sewers of New York flood with toxic waste every night at midnight.
James, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10 because only half of the movie was good. and that's the half where he was on the
On a
boat.
boat. That's true. He doesn't even take Manhattan, man. It doesn't even live up to the title of Jason
Yeah.
Takes Manhattan. It's Jason Takes a Boat Ride.
Yeah, screw the Manhattan part. As soon as they got to the city, the movie went downhill. That's my opinion. Like, everything was kind of rushed. There was all these strange little dynamics that they threw in with the muggers and the rapist. And then you've got the weird sewer toxic sludge scenario. There's all of these layers of terribleness that ensue after they reach the city. But before they got there, Jason being on a boat it could have been set on Camp Crystal Lake. Like, maybe the lake's big enough to where they could just have a, like, party boat for, like, the weekend or something. That would have made a great film.
Seeing him in a confined space is a great thing. There's a great YouTube movie we're going to watch. It's like an hour long. It's called Never Hike Alone. It's a Friday the 13th fan film, but it's the best made thing I've ever seen.
Really?
Like, it's as good as the remake. Like, it's a good quality
Really?
fan made
Is
film.
it feature length?
It's 60 minutes. It's not feature length, but it's a half an hour shorter than a regular movie.
Although
Most of them are 90
this movie was the longest, I think, of the whole
almost
franchise.
2 hours long for a fucking movie that's called Jason Take Manhattan he doesn't.
The whole first hour was the boat scenes. And like the last 35, 40 minutes of the film, that's whenever they reach the city. So this movie is like long and drawn out. I was hoping for like a whole just like Jason just kind of gets towed with them along and nobody dies on the boat. But when they get to Manhattan, he starts killing people.
Yeah, you know
like
what?
that's
That-
what
that
I was
would've made it
thinking.
better.
That's what I was thinking.
As if,
the
like,
movie-
he was maybe
just
going
Indiana
after them.
Jones did.
Where he was maybe going after them, but
Yeah.
he would kill just whoever got in his way.
Yeah.
But just like with that one where there were actually kids at the fucking camp,
Yeah.
part 6 was the one where there were actually small children at the camp. And
Yeah.
he goes into that cabin and you're like, oh, if he starts fucking up some kids, this movie's going to be fucking amazing. And he doesn't.
Yeah.
This is worse than that.
Yeah.
He doesn't take Manhattan. He visits it for 5 minutes and then goes home. No, and then dies as a boy. What the fuck is going on with, dude, toxic waste. It floods. I'm sorry, like no one lives there. If you were in a city where the sewers flood with toxic waste every night at midnight,
That's just a weird legend that you're trying to start at that point.
nobody would live there. But it's not a legend because we saw the toxic waste flood the sewers.
Yeah, we saw it on film, therefore it's real.
Exactly. And it turns him into a little boy? Why? Why does it turn him into a little boy? What the fuck is this movie, man? Like, what is this? I love this series and I don't even understand what this movie is or supposed to be.
Man, you're killing me.
But we're gonna get on to something better soon.
Yeah.
Part 9, well, not better. I don't know, man. Jason X is the best of these crazy ones to me. Part 9 is out there, but it's got an original concept, so I'll give it some pre-merits for that.
9, you said?
Yeah, Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday.
Which
You laugh because part 4 is called Friday the 13th 4, the final chapter.
Yeah.
This is Jason 8 Takes Manhattan. It was supposed to be the last movie because Paramount's rights ran out.
That's why he turned into a little boy.
And then the 9th one, yeah, I know, to kill the franchise, to keep anyone else from doing anything with it. Like, let's see these fuckers continue on with a little boy Jason. Which would have been kind of cool. It would have been an Omen type thing where it's like Damien, but it's Jason. That you know what? Fuck. I think I could write a better part 9 than what we're going to get.
You really?
With a little boy Jason in Manhattan. And this time he'll take Manhattan. Motherfuckers. Part 9, Jason Goes to Hell. That's what we're looking forward to next.
Yeah.
I'm going to write a goddamn sequel to this movie where Jason really fucking takes Manhattan.
Man.
The name of the book, Jason Takes Manhattan for reals.
For realsies this time.
Yeah.
Lol, seriously. Okay.
This piece of garbage is behind us, thank God. I'm blown away that you have not rated it the lowest of all of them.
No, I was really disappointed with the last film. But Jason Takes Manhattan, like, the biggest merits was the first half of the film, and the cinematography was the best so far.
I will give you that this was the nicest looking movie.
Yes.
But we're moving into the 90s now.
Yeah.
So the cinematography is only gonna get better.
Yeah, true. So,
it's the lowest grossing of the entire franchise.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a 5?
Yeah, it's a 5 for me.
Oh my god.
It was pretty enjoyable up until the latter half, and then I started. But I think part of it was just because it felt like it ran so long. I was just getting bored of it. I was like, okay, just end this film now. You know?
Whereas a lot, like we said earlier, all of the rest are like 90-minute movies, 88-minute movies.
Yeah, this one was significantly longer, or at least it felt significantly longer.
Yeah.
You know?
Although I liked the actors. You thinking about it, you do bring up some good points.
Like
they had some good actors, pretty good.
Yeah.
Julian is a good character.
There was only a
Watching him
few
get his
sections
head knocked off.
Yeah, there was only a few small spots in the film where I was like, that's genuinely not good acting. But
Yeah. Well, you didn't like that girl, Susie, who was in the boat. You were laughing, going, that face looks like nothing like terrified.
yeah, she looked like she was playing hide and seek, like she was excited.
Ooh, he's gonna find me.
Yeah, I just
Oh god, he's gonna fucking find me. I'm dead. I'm fucking dead. Oh god.
You would make a better actor.
Fuck yeah, I would. And I wouldn't make Jason turn into a little boy after being consumed by toxic waste. Why?
Oh man.
I don't understand this movie.
So everybody, that was our review for Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason takes
Manhattan. No, he doesn't. Jason takes a boat ride.
If you enjoyed this podcast, definitely check us out on our Facebook page. Give us a like.
Follow us on our YouTube page. Subscribe and ring the bell.
Yep. You can find us on Facebook at The J. Ram and Billy Show, and you can find the link to our YouTube channel in the description of this podcast, wherever you may be listening.
You can listen to us on Podbean as well, or Spotify. We're on both platforms.
Yeah. And you can also look on our Facebook page. We have like the links to these podcasts where you can download them for free, and you don't have to use an app. It'll just download to your phone. You'll have the audio file. So that's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was J-Ram.
And this was Billy.
And this was J-Ram and Billy Retro Reviews. Catch you next time.
See you next time.
Okay, so if you listened all the way to the end, the special tagline for this movie is, "What the fuck, toxic waste?" WTF, toxic waste.
Have a good night.